Hey everybody, it's Missy bringing you another layout for the Hip Kit Club, and this is my 5th layout for the month using the 2015 October kits. And I have my silhouette cutting mat here, and I've already cut a few things out here, and I'm just going to start to peel off my papers. I've chosen 4 papers that I wanted to use, and I just cut the same shape over and over. And this is from one of Nicole Noasad's designs, and you can get this cut file free if you have an account over on our Hip Kit website. So I guess this is kind of like a little flower here. I had an idea going on in my head of just having this shape, you know, some big ones, some medium ones, and some small ones just scattered all over the page with my pictures sort of overlapping them. And these pictures are of me and my friend Jennifer, and I'm wearing a teal greenish shirt and she's wearing a gray shirt. And so I thought that the pictures would go well with these colors because there's a lot of teal shades, and then there's the gray paper from American Crafts that has those little teal typewriters on it. And I hadn't used that yet. And I'm just playing around. I wasn't sure how I wanted to, lay all of these shapes out. I tried scattering them all over the place and putting my photos over to the left, and I didn't really like that. And so I decided that my pictures are going to go right where they are right now, and so I traced around them with a pencil so I would know exactly where they were going to go. And so this design I like a lot better, and I'm just picking some of the big ones, the medium ones, all different sizes here, and just kind of overlapping them behind my pictures and behind each other. And this is a different color scheme, but it winds up looking cute, I think, in the end. I really like how it turns out. I hadn't used that paper with the typewriter on it yet, and it's kind of hard for me to use because I don't think I really ever create a layout where I would need a typewriter on my page. And so I thought, well, I'll just cut it up into little pieces and focus on the gray and the teal in the pattern, and you can't even really tell that it's a typewriter. So I'm just going to go through and glue them all down. I've kind of made the big cluster behind my pictures and then 2 smaller clusters down below that. And I want to bring in some of that darker teal color that I have in my shirt in the picture because I didn't have that color in any of these papers. And so I'm going to be using those Prima watercolor pencils. And so in order for the pencils to really blend nicely and to activate the way they're meant to, I feel like gesso is a requirement there. Now, let me rephrase that. You don't have to have gesso to use those pencils. In my experience with those, I think they work better if there's some gesso down first. I think when the water hits the pencil, the color from the pencil, it just blends and smooths a lot easier if there is some gesso down. So let me state that. That's just my experience. So I did add a little bit of white gesso, and I blended it really thinly, so it didn't really blend out any of the color of those shapes. And so I wanted to have some darker teals in there, and so that's the color that I'm using. And I'm just kind of going around the edges of where my pictures are going to go, and I'm just using my water brush to spread some of the color around. And these pencils make it really easy and really fast because literally all you do is scribble a little bit of color and add the brush to it, and there you go. It just smudges and smooths really nicely, and it's going to give you this really cool watercolor effect. And I just keep going. I keep working at it until I get it dark enough to where there's a contrast between that light greenish teal color in the paper and then more of the color that's in my shirt. And I know I've said this before, but I highly recommend one of these little water brushes. They're not expensive at all, and I think that they make blending a lot easier. All right, so I do want to add a little bit of something behind my pictures, but not much because I've got a lot of pattern going on behind it already. And so I'm just going to use some tissue paper here just to add a little bit of separation behind the pictures and all that color and all that design in the back. And I don't think I'm capable of taking a picture with someone without making a goofy face. I don't know. We take serious ones, we take good ones and then we take goofy ones. And yeah, who knows? Who knows why I do that? It's just being silly in the moment, I guess. Okay, so I'm going to use some plastic here, and I just scribble the pencil on the paper or on the plastic, and add a little bit of water. And this was really easy to do, to add splatters. I just got a brush, put a lot of water on it, mixed up the color from the pencil, and then did some splattering with the paintbrush, and it splattered very easily. And I was really pleased with how easy that was and how nice it turned out. I did add a little bit of the pencil to those two bottom clusters also, just to keep the color, going throughout the entire page. And I'm really liking how this is going. I just keep fiddling with it. I keep adding color here and there wherever I think it needs to go. So then I'm going to add in some more gray. So I take the gray pencil and I'm just going to trace a few more of these shapes in a couple of different areas. And now I'm taking the black pencil. Now, if you have not used the black pencil yet, let me tell you, you don't need much. You can see how bold that is, and I barely scribbled any of the black on there. So the black is very, very bold, and you don't need a lot. I just kind of wanted a little bit of gray, and the gray pencil actually kind of looks like a beige color. When you look at the lead and you look at the color on the end of it, it looks like a dark gray. But when you actually scribble it, it's almost like a brownish color, which was fine because I did have some of the wood grain paper in there as well. So that's why I used both of those together, just to kind of give it a grayish, blackish color. I just wanted to echo the shape, but in a different way. I didn't want to use any more of the pattern paper. I just kind of wanted to have a little bit of something different going on. And I do a couple of these around the page. I think I was just in the mood to color. I don't know. I think that's why I like this water brush and these pencils, because it makes me feel like I'm coloring back like when I was a kid, and coloring was awesome. So now I decided I'm going to add a couple of black ones, and so I just take my Sharpie here and trace a couple of black shapes. Now for a couple more pops of pink, I'm going to add in some tangled thread here. There are some pink elements, but I think I used most of my pink elements up in my very first layout that I made. Seems like forever ago, but there are pink elements in the kits. But to pull out some of the pink that's in that Amy Tan paper, I just used some thread from my stash. I'm just going to use my little fine liner bottle with my quick dry adhesive to glue all that down. And now that thread is not going anywhere. And I've got some embellishments over there on the right that I've already pulled that I may or may not use. I just kind of go through and pull things that are possibilities. And I'm definitely going to use that little arrow on the left that says best friends, because it matches and it's pointing in the right direction and it's perfect. And a lot of these pieces I don't use, but they either had the color or they had the shape or they had the design that I thought would go. So I did some gold stitching over there on that little cluster that I'm making. And I'm definitely going to use some of these Dear Lizzie thickers. And I wanted to make it the title The Best, and I like the way the fits right there. It's perfect, but it didn't really look good with best. I couldn't figure out where to put best, and I think it's because the B and the T are tall, and the nature of the font, it didn't look good with the right where I had it, and so I just decided to take the off, and I'm going to use best, and then I'm going to come back in with those Evilicious alphas and create the. And that transparency piece that says full of happiness, I'm going to use that also. That's from Pink Paisley, and it's the perfect color, and it matches perfect, so I have to use that. I finally decided that's where best is going to go. It's going to be in that little open spot. I didn't want to cover up a lot of the background flower design just because I thought it was so pretty. And, that open spot of white space right there is just perfect. So that's where that's going to go. Now I'm going to pull out this pink paisley clear sticker sheet, and I'm going to use some of the gold stickers and some of the black ones. And since I've got some gold going over on the left where it says hello best friends, I felt like I needed to echo some of the gold. And so now I have a visual, what's it called? The visual triangle of gold in 3 spots there. And now I'm going to use a couple of the black stickers. I have to use those glasses. I've looked at this sticker pack every time I've done a layout. This is my 5th one, and I've just now noticed those glasses. It's like every time I make a layout and I look through the embellishments, I see something new that I did not see the previous time. So it's like starting fresh every time. Either there's a lot of embellishments or I'm crazy. I'm going to go with both because I am crazy. But hey, that's a good thing, right? So I've got my title finished, and then I'm going to come in with those really pretty light see-through transparency thickers. No, those aren't thickers. Sentiment stickers from Pink Paisley, and I used a couple of those, and then I added some of those Heidi Swapp enamel dots in the pink, and then I'm going to add just a little bit of this gold arrow or triangle washi tape from Pebbles. And I know my background is busy. I didn't want to add too much more to it because it is busy. But I did want to add a couple more touches. And I love that the tape in this collection, if it's got white in it, it's basically clear. And so you can't even see the background of that tape. All you can see is the gold. And now my dilemma was where to put the journaling, and so I decided to kind of split it over here on the left and do some above that cluster and some below. And so I do add my pencil lines first because I cannot write in a straight line to save my life, and so I want to make sure that it's as straight as it can be. And so I get that done, and then the last thing I'm going to do is my favorite, the black color shine from Heidi Swapp. I've learned my lesson to do that last because I always smudge it because I don't think it ever really dries all the way. So I have to just do this last and then put it somewhere to dry. And I think that's going to wrap it up. Yep, that's it. There's the final layout. I love how it came together. I love that cut file. Make sure you check out hipkitclub.net and get yourself an account because then you can have access to Nicole, Kim, and Ashley's cut files, and they come up with some really, really good ones every month. And so that means November is about to come out. As soon as the kits arrive, you'll be seeing new cut files. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Have a great day.